How you open up your phone call can determine if you're going to get hung up on or not. And this can be super frustrating for real estate agents because before we even get a chance to tell that person or that prospect why we're calling, the person hangs up and they don't even know why we called. So we didn't even really have a chance to swing the bat. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the key mistakes that you might be making while prospecting so that we can fix them and you can avoid being hung up on and you can ultimately close more deals in your real estate business. My name is Chris. Welcome to the Empire Real Estate YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about real estate, personal finance, and entrepreneurship so you can go out there and build your own real estate empire. Becoming great on the phone can be a game-changing skill for your real estate career. In fact, if you develop this skill and the ability to connect with people on a high level over the phone, your career will skyrocket and your sales will skyrocket as well. In general, if you can get past the first 15 to 30 seconds of a sales call, your call will usually have a good outcome. And when I say outcome, it doesn't mean they're going to tell you to come list their house now. It means that the person is going to have a conversation with you, find out what you're talking about, and you're going to discover if you can help that person or if you can't. But if you can't get past those first 15 to 30 seconds, you're never going to know. And you're never going to know what to do next. And that can ultimately stump you from building your sales pipeline and getting a lot of deals in the future. So the very first mistake I see agents make is they're way too uptight. You need to loosen up. When you're on the phone with a prospective client or a prospect, you need to be loose. Don't let that person know or don't make that person feel like you're reading from a script. As soon as they feel that, they're gonna feel like they're being sold. And when that happens, they're gonna hang up. Because how many of us have had the experience of a telemarketer calling us and just wasting 15 or 20 minutes of our time? Because of this, we have the knee-jerk reaction to just hang up on the person before that person wastes our time. And that's what's gonna happen to you if you're too tight and you're very robotic in the way that you approach the phone call. So here's a quick example. When you first start the call, you wanna say, "Hi, John." Leave it. Don't go any further than that. This gets the person's attention and it makes them wonder, hey, do I know this person? Why are they calling me? And it sounds more like a friendly call and it makes the assumption that you already know them, making them curious as to who you are and how do you actually know them. And this will ultimately make them less likely to hang up. You need to frame the opening as you actually know the person. Pretend like you're calling a friend. Use that same tonality. If you open the call in too salesy of a frame, that person is much more likely to exit the conversation before it even starts. Do not say, "Hey, this is Chris with XYZ Real Estate. Are you looking to buy or sell?" This is the fastest way to get hung up on. Now, if you make enough calls, you'll have success doing almost anything on the phone. But the key here is you want to get skilled on the phone so that you actually have to make less phone calls to make more sales. So we want to maximize our time. We don't want to just be throwing garbage at the wall and hoping it sticks. The next thing you want to do is you want to match their tone, right? If the person is very low energy, you want to come at them with some low energy. If they're very high energy and they're speaking very quickly, you want to match that same tone. It builds rapport subconsciously. Did you know that only 7% of what you say actually accounts for the effectiveness of your communication? 55% of the effectiveness of your communication comes with your body language. And 38% of what you say and its effectiveness is the tone in which you say it in. So the tonality of the call is almost more important, and it actually is more important than what you're actually saying on that call. Because of this, you need to work on mirroring that prospect's tonality. When you start to mirror their tonality, you're going to subconsciously build that rapport and it will make it less likely for that person to hang up on you. Next, we want to get straight to the point. Don't waste the prospect's time with long drawn out pauses or indecisiveness. This will cause the prospect to hang up. They want to be on the phone with a confident individual that respects their time. And if you're not that person, they're going to hang up. So I've seen salespeople that I've trained have, super high conversation rates, while others have very low conversation rates. And they're actually, in some cases, the person with the low conversation rate is making more phone calls and getting more answers. But the way they're approaching the call is ineffective. And it's not what they're saying, because they're reading from the same exact script. It's the tonality in what they're saying and how quickly they're getting to the point. So you need to build this skill over time, because at the end of the day, we want to improve our conversion rate. So what you can make 100 calls and get 15 leads, whereas somebody else might make 100 calls and get 3 leads. Who's maximizing their time the most? Well, it's the person that has more skill. Now, I would argue that the person that's getting a much lower conversion rate because they have less skill can outperform the person that's getting a higher conversion rate by simply making more phone calls. There's only so much time in a day. And how much time do you actually want to spend per day prospecting? And at the same argument, I can say that that same person that gets a high conversion rate can simply outpace that other person by making more phone calls. So we want to maximize our time. We want to maximize our efforts and make sure that we're getting the most out of the work that we put in. And the way we do that is developing our skill. So I'm going to give you an example of a quick opening to a call so you can maybe practice this and get good at it. So here's a quick example. I'm going to pretend that I'm calling somebody outbound that came into my website looking at some homes. So I'm going to say, "Hey John." Person's going to say, "Yes, how can I help you?" I'm going to say, "Hey, this is Chris with XYZ Realty. I saw you came onto our website today, and I just wanted to reach out and see how many homes you've looked at so far in person." He's going to say, "Oh, well, I've seen 3 or 4. And say, "Okay, cool, that's great. What kind of home are you looking for?" And they're going to say, "Oh, I'm looking for a 3-bed, 1-bath ranch." Now, the conversation can go a totally different way. That same person might say, "Oh, I'm not interested, I'm just looking." And then how are you going to respond? Most agents are going to say, okay, I'll let you go, bye. Well, that's wrong. What you want to say is you want to agree. "Oh, that's great, you're just looking? Oh, that's awesome. The majority of the people that come onto our site just start off looking. Do you mind if I send you a couple different houses you can look at behind the screen? What kind of home are you looking for?" And that person's going to say, "Oh, I'm looking for a 3-bed, 1-bath, but I'm not looking to do anything right now." Be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool, no rush, no worries. Some people have a longer timeline to move. Are you thinking like 6 months, 12 months, 2 years? How long are you thinking?" And that person is going to open up and start talking about the transaction. But it all comes down to how you lead the transaction in the conversation, and you need to talk about and you need to focus on open-ended questions. When you first start a conversation, please don't start off with closed-end questions. That's how you're going to get hung up on. So I hope this video helped, and if you are currently in the process of making cold calls, if you're struggling with that, I would love to hear how you're doing, and I would love to give you some feedback and maybe help you so you can get your conversion rate up a little higher. So drop that in the comment section below, and definitely smash that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much. Have an awesome day.